If you are a regular viewer to my channel, then you may remember me making the Demon Skull bikini top a few years back. And then a little bit later, I also did a skull bikini top for Diana Bastet, the belly dancer from Ukraine. Her video coming out very soon. And now I'm feeling I want to branch out. So today I am going to be doing a panther head as a boob. So you might be worried that I've got some sort of fixation and my psychological equilibrium might be out of balance, but I think I need to follow this through and get this out of my system, and then I can move on. So clearly I've got some deep-seated issues. I'm also kind of paranoid. I feel like I'm being watched. Probably just my imagination. Let's begin. Okay, so I've got a scrap of silicone bronze here, 18 gauge. It's about 9 inches square. You can see there's a little oblong cutout on there, but it will be fine for my shape. First step, I'm going to heat it up in the forge and raise a bulge. I need to get a shapeless bulge there that I can start working with. The spot from being at a nice heat to disintegrating is a split second, so you have to be very aware of how hot you're getting. You can't get away with the shenanigans that you can do when you're working with steel. So I just got it over a 3.5 inch ball, and I'm just going to start raising bulge. So pass number 2, and I've roughed in most of the landmarks. Now what I want to do is anneal this again and then start sharpening up the details. I need to balance out a few anomalies and then start refining and defining detail. All right, several days have elapsed, and I spent another day without my cameraman working on this piece, and you probably see a vast difference from a moment ago in video land. So what I've done is sharpened up the details. I had to do a lot of reforming, trying to get a believable profile on this. I really kind of struggled with that. Also, I had the fangs down in the mouth, and I was going to try to leave them there all as one piece, and I felt, you know, that was very nice to be inclusive that way, but I didn't like the overall shape. Eventually, what I decided to do was shear out the inside of the mouth there and actually draw forward the fangs. So they're still the same fangs there, but I just brought them forward. What I'm going to do now is go to the inside, I don't know if you can get that here, and actually go in with my MIG with the bronze wire and fill in the fangs there and kind of grind them from the back. Then I would like to form a tongue piece that will go into the back there and cover that whole plate. So a lot of really slow time on this one, and it just was not practical for filming that. I will do some further work on it, and maybe we'll pick up again with the tongue and then move on from there. But this piece is proving to be fairly complex, and I'm struggling with it. So there we are. All right, so I've spent a couple hours working on the teeth, doing a little bit of dental work. I actually had to end up adding these with tigging in some silicone bronze, had fish put some bronze in there, and then I spent a long time with a die grinder trying to file them out into teeth. So I've got the teeth to a degree where I'm happy with. They're not perfect, but I think they're adequate for the subject matter at hand here. Now, because I've got this hollow, because I forced the teeth forward and I had to shear out the back there, I've got an opening here that needs to be filled. So I decided I was going to do a filler plate with a tongue on it. So I Googled up some kittens yawning and came up with this little motif. I apologize, I did it in black. It's probably very shadowy. Anyhow, it goes in something like that. So I've got to make up that piece. We've got a piece of bronze annealed, and I'm going to start working on that right now. All right, so we've got that in. Fish was able to tack it in for me there, my TIG welder, and you can see it doesn't look so shit hot on the inside, but that's all going to be lined anyway for softness and comfort. So that gives me a nice deep 3D effect. I think that's going to catch this shadow quite nicely. My tongue motif, I think, has enough shape to really kind of capture what we're trying to portray there, so I'm happy with that. Next step, I'm going to have to cut it out and roll some of the edges, make this thing all safe on the outside, so that's next. Okay, so I've cut out the cat, and you can see I've left a border of about 1/4 inch around the entire perimeter. What I'm going to do now is fold that over. I'm not going to do a rolled edge as much as I'm going to do a lapped edge, just to create a safety edge on the inside, so nothing is going to be cutting into tender flesh. So let's begin. All right, so I've got the edges rolled there. I need to do some cleanup, and I'll do that as I do the actual polishing of this. What I need to do now is get this shaped roughly to the body here. So essentially I need to leave this ear out here. I'm trying to get an orientation that doesn't interfere with the arm too much, and I think this is probably going to be my best compromise at about that angle there. I was thinking about doing that, but that really just digs into the armpit with the ear, and it's just problematic. So I'm just going to bring this down, kind of shape everything more to the torso here, and then I will be able to get into polishing. Okay, and this concludes this video, which has been a very strange one. Started out as a demo for the OABA, Ontario Artists Blacksmith Association. This whole thing is a collaboration with an artist in New York, and I haven't really talked about her at all. We're going to get into that in the next video as we flesh this out. So final reveal here. Here is our panther head, which sits on the breast thusly, something like that. So you're getting that. So I'm fairly pleased with what we've got as far sculpturally and expression, everything worked out there. In the following video, we're going to actually incorporate this into a fantasy style suit, which is our collaboration, as I said, but we'll get into that later. So an interesting build all on its own, very labor intensive to make this particular embossing here, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm quite happy the way it came out with the tongue and the teeth and everything. So I'd love to hear your comments below. Please subscribe if you haven't been up to this point. All that stuff, you know what to do. You've been through this before. So I will see you next time. I'm Thak. See ya!